it's Maymay, and just when you thought I couldn't do an easier, peasier mini album, I somehow think I did. I'm not sure, but I think I did. I've got to show you these bags. They are so cute. I found these at Michael's. Look how cute they are. They are 3.5 by 2 and 1. Ugh. I don't know what that is. Hold on. Oh, that's the side. That's the gusset. Like 2.125, and then they're 6.75 long. So they're really small. And I thought I wanted to make, I actually was inspired this morning by a YouTube video I saw, and I will see if I can't see who did that and try to link it. I can't remember who did it, but they made a mini album where they could add pages, and I thought, now that's a good idea. I wonder if I can do that easy peasy style. So here's what I came up with. I took these little bags and I opened it up all the way like this, okay, and then I took my finger to the side and pressed that little point out and let it kind of make a triangle here. It does it kind of on its own, and then I did the same thing on the other side. Now the thing I like about these bags is you don't even have to mat them if you don't want to, because this is super cute paper, right? I didn't quite get that one right. I went a little too high on my point. And get to it. There we go. Okay, and you just kind of let it do its thing. If you want to score it, you can score it again if you feel the need. Now, the only thing we're going to do here at the bottom is we're going to fold this down, and that I would score. Just like that. Now, I have done this with 5 bags total, just because that's a good start for a good mini album. Aren't they cute as they can be? So 5 bags to start. Now, I've already punched the holes in these, and I want to show you how I did it. Easy peasy, because I cheat. Y'all know that, right? I like easy. So what you do is you do not crease this section. We don't want to crease the part where we're going to be putting our goodies on. So here's what you do. You take this corner and take it to that corner without creasing the middle. You just crease the part down here in the bottom. Okay, can you see what I did? I just creased this section, and then you open it back up. Then you take this point and go to that fold, just creasing the bottom. I'm telling y'all, I don't like to measure. I don't like to be perfect. And then you do the same thing here. Take that bottom to that fold and crease. Now then, now that you've done that, you have 2 crease marks that are in the center of the outside, okay? Because you went from the middle and you centered it with your little folds. You may not can see them good there, but I can see them. They're right in this area. Now what I did was I took my crocodile, We Are Memory Keepers crocodile, and on the side you can adjust the dial. I adjusted the dial and tightened it down so that I knew they'd all be the same. And I just went to the center of that and punched into the center of that and punched. Now once you get your first one done, don't do all that measuring. Just line them up like so. And see how mine match, and just line them up and punch. That way you don't have to do it every time, so just once. Okay, now let's work on the cover. For the cover, you're going to need a piece of chipboard that is 7.5 by 5 3/4, and that's what I've got here. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to allow for our gusset here, because I'm not doing anything fancy, okay? I'm going to allow for this binding that we're going to do and make a fold in the chipboard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure out. And I've already measured this once, and I decided I'm going to do mine at 1 1/8 just to give it a little ease. So I'll move that bag out of the way. And using my cutting mat, I'm going to use a T-square ruler and move this 1 1/8 inch away from the edge and score it really firmly and several times. And while I'm holding it, I'm going to bend up. Okay? Now I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. 1 1/8. Much easier this time because you have a line to go on. Firmly and lift up. Okay, so now you've kind of created yourself some give, and it doesn't have to go all the way back. Okay, it will make it there eventually. All right, now let's cover it. The cool thing about this album, I've been wanting to do one where I could use a 6x6 pad and not have to just cut all the workings down to fit, but this one's going to work just fine. Let me show you what I mean. I chose this paper for my cover. This is from a 6x6 pad from Michaels, and it is known as Little Mismatched. I take that back. This may not be from Michaels. Yeah, Michaels.com. And it was $2.99 on clearance. And I love these colors. It takes me back to my high school days. So, I'm going to be using this. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use liquid glass. Do not worry about this hole. We will fix that later. So I got my liquid glass on, and then I'm just going to take my paper and line it up to the edge of the chipboard. And I just got my chipboard from the back of a scrapbook album. That's what I always typically do. So, smash it down, flip it over, rub it out, get it nice and smooth. Look, I got a big glob of it. Man, my mat has got so much junk on it. Okay, now let's do the other side. Same way. And for the inside, I chose this little paper right here. I think it's really cute. So we'll line it up to one side, smash it down, get it on really good, just like so. Now, as you notice, let me flip it over, get all this glue off my work surface. I'm going to have to clean this. Okay, and now I'm going to take my T-square again. Look at all this glue. I made such a mess. I'm going to take my T-square again. I'm going to line it up to the edge. You could use this with a Tim Holtz ruler too. Be just fine. And I'm going to take away this excess. Now look how little we waste on the 6x6 paper pad. Isn't that awesome? I love it. With these bags, it's really, really cool. Okay, so now we've covered both sides. And I took earlier a border punch and I cut a piece of black as my coordinating paper. And I cut it at 2¼ inches, and then I border cut it with my EK Success little jagged border. I thought it looked good with the chevron bags. So this gets glued here now. Okay, and I'm going to flip it over, and this piece is now going to cover this little piece. So see how I told you we're going to cover that dot up, not to worry about it? That's what this piece does. Alright, and the last thing we're going to do with this one, well, two things. We're going to corner around the edges, because I think that just makes it look nice and finished. And by doing it like this, we're corner rounding everything at once. Chipboard, paper, everything. And then I'm going to take my Stays On black ink and do the edges. And I decided to use this on the front because I think this is boringer. I thought this was cuter for the front, so that's going to be my front. And you want to ink and get rid of those white edges. Alright. And now all we have to do is punch holes. And the way I do that is to use one of my bags and line it up just like I did before. But I tell you what I'm going to do on this one. I've already made my other piece and already punched the holes, and since I want these to match really well, I'm going to use this to help me line them up. And now everything will line up nice and good. Okay, so this is the outside back. Oh, I'm glad I chose different because look, it would have been like that. And this is the outside front. See how they look? Super cute. Now, let's do some bending. Now, you know we scored this earlier. And what we want to do is put this down on our mat again. Go back to that 1 1/8" mark. And we want to score the paper again. And while we have the ruler on it, let's bend. This is going to make your paper move some, okay? But that's okay. It's got to give a little bit, okay? Now let's do the same thing on the other side. So there we go with our cover. Now for the fun part. Okay, I have I'll move this out of the way. I have a hair tie. I have a cute button. And I have some baker's twine. Now, if you had a button that had one of those little lips on the back, this would be perfect. You would just stick this through, do a slip knot, everything's cool, but I don't have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thread and thread it through this hair tie first, so I have it on the string. Then I'm going to thread it through my button. With both end pieces. Okay, bring that down and I'm going to tie it together. And the first time I tie it, I'm going to tie a double knot. So 1, 2, so that'll be really secure. And now I can tie a little bow, just for cutesies. If you want to tie a charm on or anything, you could do that here. Now let's snip those edges. Be careful not to snip your hair tie, because you're going to need it. Alright, now we'll put our pieces together. So, this goes underneath. These get stacked up on top. And then we have our cover. So go ahead and make sure all your holes are lined up. I'm going to take him and just put him to one side so I can still see one hole. And we'll move it as we need to. Okay, and from our hair stash, I want to show you, I have this bobby pin that is old and messed up and whatever, and it had one of those pieces that came out and flipped out, and I cut that piece off with some wire snips, and I'm going to stick this in through, and it becomes a needle, okay? And I'm going to push it through where we created our hole, and pull, and that'll bring our hair tie through. Don't pull too hard, we don't want to get crazy. Alright, and then remove this guy, and keeping our bobby pin in the back, go to the back hole and pull it through again. Now then, you simply take your hair tie, wrap it around the button, like so, move it to the center or wherever you want it, and you have a nifty little quick easy peasy mini album. And it opens and you can look at it, and because this is a hair tie, look how it does. It's just really easy to do. Isn't that precious? You can do them for all kinds of occasions. And then if you want to add pages to it, just, you know, easy enough. Just undo the hair tie and add pages. And look how you can do it because that elastic stretches. Boing. It comes back. Alright guys, that's an easy peasier. Do you think it's easier peasier? Let me know. This is not something for kids. I think they would probably demolish this. This is something to sit around to have to look at. But anyway, let me know what you think. I just think this is really cute and easy to add pages to. So, there you go guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.